God is begging you. You are chosen to see this rare miracle tonight at 11:11 p.m. Keep this message private. This sacred sign was reserved for you alone, and it could reveal itself within the next 3 minutes. Open it before the moment passes. I am calling you to pause in this very moment, not to plant panic within you, but to awaken the deepest part of you that has fallen asleep after too many exhausting days. You have walked through such long seasons that you have almost stopped expecting anything new. You once hoped, prayed, and waited patiently, but gradually made your desires smaller because you were afraid of being disappointed again. Yet, my beloved child, weariness cannot erase what I have placed within you. And years of silence do not mean that I have forgotten the words you once spoke to me. I am leading you into a deeply personal moment, one in which you must quiet the noise around you long enough to recognize that I am still near, that I still see you, and that I am still working in places your eyes cannot yet reach. You are not here merely because of a meaningless chain of coincidences, among countless things that could have drawn your attention elsewhere. Your heart has paused before this reminder because an awakening is taking place within you. Perhaps you cannot yet name it. You only know that you long for confirmation, for some sign that what you have endured was not in vain, and that there is still a door in your life waiting to be opened. I do not need you to prove anything to anyone. I only want you to be honest with yourself and with me. Let the noise settle. Allow the crowd thoughts to step aside for a moment and listen for the faint peace beginning to return within you. That is often where I begin my deepest work. I have patiently remained beside you through many seasons. When you thought you had to walk alone, I was there during the nights when you turned your face toward the darkness to hide your tears. I was there when you smiled at everyone, while your heart remained filled with unanswered questions. Many times, I reminded you through gentle promptings, through a desire to return to prayer, through the urge to release something that was no longer healthy, or to begin again with something you had delayed for far too long. Sometimes, you dismissed it as a passing emotion. Sometimes you were too busy to notice. I do not blame you. I know the burdens you carried weakened your ability to recognize a gentle call. That is why today I am drawing closer, so you may understand that the season of neglecting yourself has come to an end. There were moments when a sudden heaviness came upon you, and you did not know why. In the middle of an ordinary day, your heart would unexpectedly sink, as though something within you was asking to be acknowledged at times. You awakened with a thought you could not dismiss, or felt an intense desire to change direction. Do not hastily call every emotion a supernatural sign, but neither should you continue ignoring what repeatedly returns within you. I may use peace to confirm a path, uneasiness to cause you to reconsider a choice, and stillness to reveal what noise has hidden. Learn to discern with wisdom, rather than chasing temporary feelings. What comes from me does not drive you into chaos. It leads you toward honesty, humility, and freedom. I do not want you to keep passing over your own pain as though it were unworthy of care. You have become too accustomed to saying that everything will eventually be fine, while deep within you are places still waiting to be healed. There are memories you locked away because you believed speaking of them would only make matters worse. There are dreams you buried because you feared others would laugh. There are prayers you stopped offering because you believed you had already waited too long. But the fact that you stopped mentioning something does not mean I stopped caring. I still remember what once caused your eyes to shine, the desires you once held with complete sincerity, and the pain you tried to conceal so that you would not become a burden to anyone else. The renewal I bring is not a performance for you to display before the world, nor is it an emotional surge that quickly disappears. A profound miracle may begin when you are finally able to breathe more freely after months of tension. Forgive yourself after years of self-condemnation, or find enough courage to say no to something that has quietly destroyed your peace. It may appear when you gain the strength to leave a harmful relationship, begin caring for your health, or return to work, that fear caused you to postpone. Do not limit my work to one spectacular moment. I can transform your entire life through one small decision born from clarity and faithfully maintained day after day. There are things others have called impossible to repair, yet I still see a path toward restoration. Someone may have told you that you would never change, that your wound would follow you forever, or that your family would always repeat the same story. Those words may have settled so deeply that you began using them to describe yourself. But my beloved child, do not give human judgment the authority to write the ending of your life. I know where you went wrong, how weak you became, and the moments in which you lost your way, but I also know the capacity to rise that I placed within you. I do not see only what pressure has made you become. I also see who you can become when you are loved, guided, and restored. What appears to have died within, you can awaken again in a new form. I do not always return everything to its former shape, because some things must be rebuilt upon a wiser foundation. A broken relationship may not return to what it once was, but your heart can be healed, so that you no longer carry bitterness into the future. A professional door may have closed, yet the ability and experience gained through it may become a key to another direction. An old dream may need to change its form, while the good purpose within it can still be fulfilled. I do not merely repair broken fragments. Often I use them to build something more mature and enduring. Therefore, close your eyes for a moment, if that helps you become still. But do not force yourself to feel anything extraordinary. You do not need to tremble, burst into tears, or see a strange sign in order to believe that I am near. Perhaps all you sense is a small measure of peace, like a door opening slightly in a room that has felt suffocating for far too long. Treasure that peace. It may be the first step that enables your mind to stop running, allows you to hear what you truly need, and teaches your heart to hope again. If you feel nothing yet, do not condemn yourself. My love does not depend upon a passing emotion, and my work is not limited by what you can immediately perceive. I am not telling you to hide what is good because you fear someone may take it away, but I counsel you to protect fragile beginnings. Not everyone will understand what is being built within you, and not everyone needs to hear about it before it has taken root. Some things should be kept in stillness until they become strong enough not to be shaken by one doubtful word. Share them with trustworthy people, those who know how to support without controlling and listen without planting fear. Discretion is not isolation. It is wisdom that knows where precious things should be entrusted. Do not chase a precise moment and then become disappointed if what you expect does not appear within a few minutes. I am not limited by a clock, and your restoration is not an experiment measured by numbers. What matters is not how quickly you see a miracle, but whether you are willing to walk through the process with me. Some changes begin the moment you choose to release fear, yet the results require time to become visible. Some doors open quickly, while other things form slowly, so that your foundation may become strong enough. Do not let impatience steal your ability to recognize small but genuine changes today. I am not only calling you to pay attention to something that may happen. I am calling you back to the life already present within you. Awaken to your choices, to the way you speak to yourself, to the people you permit into your life, and to the things you have prolonged, even though you know they are draining you. A miracle is not only something that falls from outside. Sometimes it is the strength I place within you, so that at last you dare to do what is right. It is the courage to ask for help, begin again, speak the truth, rest, or leave a place that has repeatedly wounded you. Every small step of obedience can become the birthplace of a different future. My beloved child, I have waited not because I was distant, but because I respect your willingness. I do not break down the door of your heart. In order to enter, I remain near, patiently calling and waiting for you to open it now. Release the hardness formed through too many disappointments. Let me care for the place you have always tried to hide. Believe that what the world has discarded can still be used by me, that what you once regarded as failure can become a lesson, and that what you stopped asking for can be renewed in a better form. You do not need to know how everything will happen. You only need to take the first step with an honest heart. This moment may not immediately change the entire world around you, but it can change the way you enter tomorrow. When you stop running, stop condemning yourself, and stop treating yourself like someone who has been forgotten, a new door has already begun to open. I am calling you out of paralysis and into hope, out of noise and back into clarity, out of the fear of disappointment, so that you may once again dare to believe in what is good. Remain still with me in this moment. You do not need to display anything or prove anything. You are being heard, seen, and loved. I am still writing your story, and the pages ahead are not bound by what happened behind you. Before you continue, take one quiet moment to examine your heart and offer me a sincere word of agreement. I do not require you to prove your faith through public actions, nor do I exchange blessing for your attention. What I seek is a heart willing to open, a small but honest decision that you will no longer allow disappointment to seal the door of hope, the most precious. Yes is not found on the lips of the person who speaks the loudest, but is formed in the hidden place when you choose to trust. Even though you do not fully understand, in that stillness, you begin releasing the fears you have held for too long and allow my peace to enter the place once filled with chaos. The world has repeatedly caused you to believe that I no longer remember you. Prolonged waiting made you think your prayers had simply disappeared into emptiness. You watched others receive opportunities, restoration, and answers, while you remained before silent doors. Then a cold voice began whispering that perhaps you were not good enough, worthy enough, or important enough for me to notice. But my beloved child, that is not the truth. I heard even the words you could not speak aloud. I know every night when you turned your face into the pillow, so no one would hear you sob. I saw you step outside with a calm smile, while inwardly struggling to keep the broken pieces from falling apart. When everyone thought you were strong, I still knew how weary you had become. I accompanied you through storms you never told anyone about. There were wounds you concealed because you feared being misunderstood, worries you handled alone because you did not want to trouble anyone, and battles known only to you and me. I did not stand at a distance, merely watching and waiting for you to overcome through your own strength. I sustained you during the days when you thought you were simply trying to survive. My presence did not always come as an overwhelming feeling, but as the small measure of endurance that enabled you to awaken for another morning, complete one more task, and refuse to give up during a difficult day. That perseverance is evidence that you were never abandoned. You may not have recognized me in the storm, but I was still keeping you from being swept away from the path. Now a new season is gradually unfolding, not necessarily through great noise, but through genuine change. You will begin to see the things that once trapped you lose their power. An old fear will no longer make you tremble, as it once did. A connection that drained your strength will no longer control you. A decision you postponed will become clear. A resource, opportunity, or helping hand may appear from a place you never considered. I am working in the areas you cannot yet see, but do not turn this into impatient demands for immediate results. Lasting work is usually prepared in silence. I am loosening every knot, repairing every foundation, and teaching you enough wisdom so that when the door opens, you will not lose what you receive. Some chains are breaking first, not in your outward circumstances, but in the way you think about yourself. I am breaking the belief that you will always be the one who comes last, the one who is forgotten, and the one who must struggle more than everyone else in order to deserve love. Delay is not evidence that you have been rejected. Some things arrive later because you must be prepared to carry them without allowing them to harm you. Some doors have not opened because what lies behind them still needs to be arranged. Some people have not appeared because you are learning to recognize who is sincere and who only desires to exploit your gentleness. I am not slow because I am indifferent. I am careful because I love you. I do not want to place something great in your hands while the wounds within you might cause you to destroy it. Remember the faithful man of long ago who continued seeking me for many days without seeing an answer. From the moment his heart turned toward me, his request was heard, but what was being prepared needed time to pass through obstacles before reaching him. That story was not recorded so that you could count days and force me to act according to a number, but so you would understand that silence does not mean absence. Sometimes the answer has already begun moving while you still see no sign of it. Changes may already be taking place in another person's heart, in circumstances, decisions, and timing beyond your control. Your part is not to predict every step I will take. Your part is to keep your heart upright, continue living faithfully, and refuse to allow disappointment to make you bitter. I heard you from the first moment you called to me with a trembling voice. I heard when you could speak only a few words before you began to cry. I heard even when you remained silent because you no longer knew what to ask for. No word was too awkward and no sigh was overlooked. Yet during the waiting, distractions repeatedly tried to pull you away from faith. You were pressured to find shortcuts, rely upon untrustworthy promises, or abandon what was right. Simply because the result had not arrived, weariness made you want to say there was no use trying any longer, yet you continued to act kindly. When you could try to keep your heart pure, even after repeated wounds, and still returned to seek me, when you did not understand the silence, that faithfulness was not meaningless. It created within you a quiet strength that circumstances cannot easily take away. Do not think that the miracle bearing your name is a reward because you endured pain better than others. I do not glorify blind endurance, nor do I want you to remain forever in places that are destroying you. What I am doing is turning the difficult months into a foundation for maturity, so that you emerge not only with changed circumstances, but with a wiser heart. The miracle may be a new door, but it may also be the strength to close an old one. It may be a resource arriving at the right time, but it may also be freedom from the fear of lack. It may be a restored relationship, but it may also be the peace to release a connection that is no longer healthy. Do not limit the way I restore you to one particular form. I do not want you to live with the feeling that you have only a few minutes left to hold on to something good, as though one missed step would cause you to lose everything. My love is not that fragile. I do not place a blessing before you and threaten to withdraw it if you do not respond quickly enough. What I want you to preserve is awareness, not panic. Be careful of voices that use fear to pressure you, even when they disguise themselves in spiritual language. My voice may correct you and call you to action, but it always leads toward clarity, peace, and responsibility. I do not cause you to lose your ability to think wisely. I want you to walk with steady trust, rather than chasing temporary emotions or exciting promises that leave only emptiness behind. Now remain with me, not because you fear missing an event, but because you deserve a moment of rest from all the noise. Let your heart soften. Give me what you have tried to control, the questions that remain unanswered, and the sorrow you have concealed. You do not need to know the exact day when everything will change. Pay attention to the small signs of life returning: a clearer thought, a more peaceful night, a timely conversation, a healthy decision, or an opportunity beginning to form. These may be the first steps of what you have been waiting for. My beloved child, your timing is not determined by comparison with others. I have not forgotten your name, overlooked your circumstances, or allowed your sincere prayers to become meaningless. What I am preparing will not be stolen from you by delay, but you must enter it with watchful eyes and a heart that has learned to trust without deceiving itself. Continue loving, continue doing what is right, and continue caring for yourself. Do not let a season of silence make you forget that seeds can still grow beneath the ground. I am still working. You are still being guided, and your story is not over. The days ahead will not only show you what I can change around you, but will also reveal the new person I have quietly formed within you. I am entering every place in your life where anxiety has taken control, bringing order, clarity, and a new beginning. I know there have been days when laughter was absent from your home, rooms that echoed with prayers, spoken through tears, and meals where people sat close together while their hearts remained far apart. I know where someone has waited too long beside a sickbed, where accumulating bills have made you afraid to think about tomorrow, and where a relationship stands on the edge of collapse because no one has found the courage to speak. I also know the battle within your mind, where one small thought can grow into fear, and that fear casts a shadow over every decision. None of this is hidden from me. I do not come to shame you for weakness. I come to lead you out of the chaos that has exhausted you. When I touch your home, I do not only change outward circumstances. I begin with the way people look at one another, speak to one another, and treat one another in the smallest matters. I am teaching you to pause before saying something hurtful, to listen instead of merely defending yourself, and to apologize without considering it a defeat. Some fractures within a family cannot be repaired through money or grand promises, but they can be healed through honesty, patience, and humility practiced each day. I will not turn your home into a perfect place without disagreement. I will make it a place where people know how to return, correct their mistakes, and protect one another when storms arise, where illness has caused fear. I am giving you calmness to face it rather than flee. I do not want you to deny symptoms that require attention, nor allow one result to drive you into despair. I can sustain you through prayer, rest, qualified professionals, appropriate treatment, and small changes you faithfully practice. I am teaching you to value your body, not to regard caring for it as selfish, and not to wait until you are completely exhausted before stopping. Restoration sometimes comes gently, like a deeper night of sleep, pain gradually easing, a mind becoming less tense, or a wise decision made at the right time. Do not despise these quiet beginnings, for what is lasting is often built through very small steps. Where financial concerns are stealing your peace, I want you to stop viewing the future only through numbers that show what is lacking. I do not promise every difficulty will disappear without your participation, but I will give you wisdom to recognize where restraint is necessary, where learning is needed, and where courage must move you forward. A new opportunity may come through, a skill you once underestimated, a sincere connection, small job with room to grow, or an idea you postponed because you feared failure. Be faithful with what is already in your hands, even if it is not much. Do not allow lack to push you into impulsive decisions, and do not let shame cause you to conceal a problem that must be addressed. I am teaching you to build stability one step at a time, so that raw sources coming to you will not be lost through old habits. I am also entering the relationship that has made your heart heavy. Some matters need healing through an honest conversation, while others require restored boundaries. You do not have to keep everyone in your life because you fear loneliness. You do not need to accept disrespect in order to prove that you know how to love. I will help you recognize the difference between someone who is genuinely changing and someone who merely says what you want to hear, so they can continue controlling you. Healthy love does not make you smaller, force you to live in fear, or require you to apologize constantly for legitimate needs. Let peace, responsibility, and consistent action reveal the true value of a relationship. When I speak into your mind, I do not use threats or confusion. My voice brings light so that you can see matters as they truly are. I am weakening the repeating thoughts that say, "You are not good enough," that every good thing will eventually leave, and that you have gone too far to begin again. Those voices have followed you for years, causing you to doubt, even when standing before a healthy opportunity, but the past no longer has the right to command your present. You may have made mistakes, fallen and chosen poorly when you lacked wisdom, but you are not confined to your former self. I am still teaching you, correcting you, and helping you mature day by day. Your heart may be stirred as you hear these words, but do not hastily treat every emotion as a special sign. Let what you feel lead you toward greater calmness, honesty, and willingness to change. My presence does not need to be proven through numbers you write or through public actions performed before others. I do not give love in exchange for a response. What I desire is trust expressed through your life, choosing truth instead of concealment, rest instead of self-destruction, seeking help instead of pretending you need no one, and leaving what is harmful instead of continuing to call it destiny. Faith is not found in a few minutes of emotional excitement, but in the faithfulness you preserve when tomorrow becomes ordinary again. I want you to know that I do not look at you with anger. You have punished yourself for far too long over matters I am inviting you to learn from and correct. You remember your failures and conclude that you are no longer worthy of good things. You look at the years when you lost your way and assume every opportunity has closed, but my mercy is not as narrow as human condemnation. I do not call what is wrong, right? Yet neither do I allow one mistake to become your entire identity. I want you to accept responsibility without living in shame, correct what can be corrected, and entrust to me what cannot be undone. Genuine repentance does not imprison you in the past. It opens the way for you to move forward with a renewed heart. You did not miss everything merely because you once doubted. There were days when your faith was so weak that you could continue only through one heavy breath at a time. Yet I remained. There were times when disappointment caused you to turn away, and then you returned in tears, but I never closed the door. I understand why you became cautious after repeated wounds. I know there are prayers that were not answered in the way you hoped. I do not ask you to pretend that you were never hurt. I only ask you not to use pain as evidence that you are no longer loved. My love is not diminished by seasons of weakness, nor erased by the times you lost your way. Before you entered this world, I knew you would have strong days and days when you would feel unable to take another step. I knew some people would stay, others would leave, some doors would open and others would close and break your heart. I knew the dreams you would have, to alter the losses that would mature you and the trials that would force you to reconsider what truly mattered. Yet I still placed within you a purpose that those events could not destroy. You were not created to spend your whole life blaming yourself. You were called to learn, rise again. Use the mercy you have received to support others and build beautiful things from the places that were once broken. I call you mine, not so that you will consider yourself greater than others, but so that you will know you no longer need to wander in search of worth in every person's eyes. When you know you are loved, you will no longer easily sell your peace in exchange for approval. You will not have to preserve a relationship merely because you fear abandonment, nor work until you collapse. Simply to prove that you are useful, you will learn to work diligently while still knowing how to rest, to love deeply while maintaining boundaries, and to remain humble without demeaning yourself. That is the freedom I am building within you. Therefore, open the door of your life to renewal through honest actions. Put your living space in order. Address what you have postponed. Say what must be said. And seek help when the burden exceeds your strength. Care for your health. Organize your finances and examine the relationships shaping your mind. I can accomplish what is beyond your ability, but I also want you to walk with me in fulfilling your responsibilities. A miracle does not make you passive. It awakens you to live with greater awareness and faithfulness. My beloved child, I am covering you with a tenderness deeper than your mistakes and wider than every failure you have experienced. Not because you have done everything perfectly, but because you remain my child even in the unfinished places. I will not leave you behind in the room of illness, in financial fear, in the fractures of relationships, or in the maze of heavy thoughts. I am accompanying you through every step of restoration. Let today become the moment when you stop running from love. Stop regarding yourself as someone without another opportunity, and begin living as one who still has a future. I see you, I know you, and I have never stopped preserving you. Your story is still being written, and the pages ahead will be built with the wisdom, peace, courage, and hope I am awakening within you.